Today it's time to get down. Why, you ask? Well, we're gonna take a peek at breakdance and break strict.
RetroKork.
So, breakdance was kind of a the fad of the 1980s as far as I can remember. I know. The purists frown upon calling it breakdance and prefer to call it breaking or b-boying. But since the game I'll talk about is using a wider array of moves, not necessarily originating from New York's Bronx, and refers to itself as breakdance, I think you can cut me some slack, okay? So, breakdance by Epix. While the tape version has only one way to be played, the disc version offers multiple sub-games right off the bat. So, let's go through them from top to bottom. The first sub-game is Hot Feet Dance Contest. Basically a Simon Says kind of game, where you reproduce the dance moves of the ringleader, Hot Feet. That's, by the way, the same game you start out in the tape version. In this game you have exactly 5 moves, which you can explore in training mode started by pressing F3. These moves are a spin, which you can do by pressing the fire button, a bop to the left, done by pushing the joystick to the left, obviously, a bop to the right, which you need to push the joystick to the right for, the move I personally like to call the Saturday Night, caused by pushing the joystick up, and finally a squat done by pulling the joystick down. After you've trained, you are free to try it out against Hot Feet, who will start off with one move that you need to replicate, then 2, then 3, etc. The game is supposedly over when you do 4 mistakes, though I had the feeling that it ended after just one for me in an earlier run. As I said, it's pretty much as Simon Says, with really blocky dances. The second game has you fend off rows of breakdancers, slowly pushing you over the side of a pier. If you land in the water, you lose one of your 4 lives. So you start out by moving your joystick left and right, and then you pick your opponent, so to speak, with a fire button. Repeat their dance moves, as in the first game, and the enemy is gone. If you vanquish the entire rocket crew, as the opponents call themselves, you win. The game is, well, it's goofy and still kind of blocky, which is a theme for the entire game. The blockiness, I mean. Game 3 is the Perfections Dance Puzzle, in which you oppose one single opponent again, but this time there are more moves to pull off as you match a 4, 6 or 8 move dance routine performed by the opponent on the left. While you're playing, there's a flagpole. That's your timer. If the flag's all the way down, you're out of time. This game has 2 screens, basically. One is the schoolyard, where the dance battle takes place, and the other one is your dance routine setup screen, represented by the windows of the school. You can switch from the actual fight to the selection screen by pressing fire, or pressing the spacebar. Going back to the schoolyard, well, for that you just press return. In the selection screen you can pick each single one of the moves available with your joystick and pressing fire. To go left in your dance routine, you press the less than button. To go right, you press the more than button, which are both just located right of the letter M on your PC keyboard. Beat your opponent and the game is done. This is probably the prettiest of the single levels, with the animated flag as the timer. Game 4 is basically a free-form dancing segment where you can set up your dance routine freely with your joystick. Press fire and left or right to start setting it up. Choose a dance move by going up and down. Fire adds it to your routine. Left and right select the place within your dance routine. When you have your routine completed and you want back on stage, you just go to Go Dance, press fire, and on the stage itself you press fire to dance. You can also load and save dance routines, but I haven't done that. And then there's the fifth game, which is basically just the games 1, 2, 3 strung together in something remotely looking like a story. But it allows you to enter the Hall of Fame, also known as the high score list to gamers. So yeah, that's Breakdance by Epix. Is it a great game? No, not at all. Is it a fun game? Yeah. It's a fun way to handle short periods of time, especially with the disc version allowing you more versatility and a creative outlet with the freeform dance routine mode. But I had mentioned another game in the introduction, didn't I? Well, here's Break Street. If you first start the game and, like me, haven't read the manual, you're not going to know what to do. So here's the lowdown. F1 switches between the high score list and the main game screen. F3 picks a difficulty level, and F5 switches between training mode and the timed gameplay. And F7 apparently is supposed to show you a demo, but with me it always crashes the game. What to do while in game? I have no clue. I think the main thing you need to do is do enough dance moves without having your b-boy faint. But yeah, that's anyone's guess. At least the graphics are nice and the music sounds less monophone than with Breakdance, which by the way came out the same year. There is a third breakdancing game out there called Break Fever, but I think I should end this review on a high note. Plus I think my Ghetto Blaster needs some fresh air. Okay, that was kinda cool. Now in 2 weeks I'm going to talk about multiple games again. Then it will all be about the Doctor. Who? Precisely, Doctor Who.